Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of In the Field with Scott Courville. We're coming to you from New Iberia at the Acadiana Regional Airport Access Road Project. We've had a lot of wonderful things that have been going on. I'd like to get you caught up. So some of the things we've been doing is our contractor has built our head walls for our box culvert and completed most of the installation of his drainage. We've also placed asphalt base at our roundabout, and now we're in the process of getting ready to start our first concrete pours for our pavement at the roundabout. And I'd like to show you the process for that. So sit back and enjoy. So our contractor's been setting forms for our concrete pour. What we have here is a 10.5-inch thick Class B concrete roadway pavement that'll be going in. This is one of the lanes. We have dowel baskets that are in place for where our joints are going to be on the inside of the roadway. And then we have rebar, which will act as a bonding agent for the adjacent lane that'll be going next to it. The white chemical that we have on the ground is a curing compound, which acts as a bond breaker so that our concrete doesn't actually bond with the asphalt of the roadway. It allows the concrete to be able to move as it expands and contracts with the weather. Concrete consists of various types of joints. Right here we have a redwood that is used for an expansion joint. This is where two sections of pavement will end up compressing once it begins to expand with the heat of summer. And the wood is designed so that it'll be a little bit more merciful and allow the concrete to expand. Here our concrete crew is setting forms to allow for a radius that behind it will be a truck apron, which will be a thicker, different type of concrete. The forms are supported by pins which hold it in place, and as you can see, they check the grade to make sure that it stays level and on proper slope. It is very important that our dowel baskets stay in the correct place. So our contractor is having to nail down the baskets to the asphalt so that once we start pouring the concrete, the baskets don't slide and move around. He's also cutting the tie wire that bonds the basket so it doesn't fall apart. It is 4 a.m. That's early. And we're getting ready to start putting down our first bit of concrete on the roadway. It's going to be about a 300-yard pour, give or take. So it's going to take us most of the day to start pouring it, curing it, and at the end of the day, salt cutting it, and I'll show you that process as we go. Good morning. Now that the sun is coming up, you get a better view of our concrete placement operations. I've got quality control that's making sure that the concrete trucks are actually showing up with the correct slump, which is how much the concrete sets once it's placed on the ground. And that's controlled by how much water is added to the concrete. I've got finishers here that are putting concrete into the forms and making sure that it's straight across from one form to the next, filling in low spots, cutting down high spots. I've also got a person with a vibrator that's making sure that the concrete is being compacted as it's being placed on the ground, consolidated, and around the baskets to make sure at the joints that we have really good solid placement and strong concrete so we don't get chips and breaks in the concrete. We've also got finishers that are making sure that the rebar on the sides of the forms are straight, and our dowel baskets that do go through the forms are also straight. That's very important. Once the concrete is at rough grade, the contractor will use this rolling screed in order to level the concrete out and get it to a more fine finish. The laborers are going to push the concrete to fill in low spots and then drag it back to cut down on the high spots. After the rolling screed is passed through, our finishers will come through with this straight edge and make sure that the pavement is going to have a nice level, straight surface. They're going to do exactly what he's doing right there by filling in low spots that were left and then use the straight edge to cut down any of the high spots and get it a little bit more straight, get it a little bit more level across the entire length of the straight edge. And this is what we call a bull float. What it does is it gets rid of all the lines and any imperfections in the finish of the concrete. This gives you the really perfectly smooth finish. One of the final steps of the texturing of our pavement surface is to run a burlap drag across the top. This aids in skid steering reduction. That way you've got traction on the roadway and your tires. The final step in our concrete finish is to apply a tine finish. This allows water to drain off the roadway, but also allows for reduction of tire noise, believe it or not. The final steps to placing concrete will be to put curing compound on top of the surface. That'll turn our gray concrete to white. What it also does is seals in the moisture inside the concrete, allowing it to cure and reach a more desirable, higher compressive strength. And then the final thing will be to come back and saw cut our joints. And that's it in a nutshell. That's placement of PCC concrete pavement. This has been another edition of In the Field with Scott Courville. Have a great day.